WhiskyJason here at Whisky Live Dublin 2022 together with
Noel Sweeney.
Oh, it's a pleasure seeing you here. Very
great
good.
to see you as well again.
Yes, yes,
we
it's
had
been
a
a
great
while.
chat on the old
We did it.
call there.
We did. That's very, very
ago.
nice. Now, you are. I was just this morning at Power Court.
Very nice.
I was told that you are still on the board.
Yes.
Yet you have now stepped back from your role as the master distiller. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Very, very good. What are your new challenges you're going to go after, or may I ask why?
Well, I mean, you can't just sit down and relax. I'm
Yes.
I'm too involved in the industry like
Yeah.
that. So I'm still part of the board of Power Court.
Yep.
And I had been doing a little bit of consultancy outside of Power Court.
Yep.
Before I left.
Yes.
Which the board all approved, and
Yes.
I've just increased that level a little bit more into various other aspects.
Yes.
So I have a couple of brands that I'm working with,
Mhm.
and I have a couple of new ventures that are looking at starting up distilleries.
Yes.
In Ireland, there's quite an explosion of new entrants into the market, and a lot of them don't really have the expertise, and it's difficult to get that expertise in the industry at the moment because we're growing so fast.
Yes.
There's a big demand for new distillers, new mashing techniques, and all that kind of stuff, and new ways of maturation.
Mm-hmm.
The new GI is helping with that as well. So I'm also chairman of the technical committee in IBEC, in the Irish Whisky Association.
Okay, very good.
And we're very busy with that.
Yes.
We've a new application into the government for a couple of alterations to the GI,
Yes.
which is the technical file.
I said it might happen next year. How long do you think it will really take?
Well, I had to take longer than a year.
Yeah, good day.
I mean, what the Department of Agriculture are the competent authority in charge.
Yep.
So they have to vet the changes that we're recommending,
Right.
and some of them may or may not agree with.
Right.
And they can take submissions from other people as well.
Yep.
So by the time they sift through all of that, then they have to bring them to Brussels, back them up in the legislation, and then they have to change the technical file, and then that goes back to the council ministers and all the rest of it again. So it's a complicated and long-winded
It is a
process.
long-winded process.
So hopefully we'll get it right this time.
Yeah, that's very good. Now, I know John Teeling sat on the board for the original GI.
That's right, John.
Were you on the board back then?
Did
Did you have any involvement in the original?
I did initially.
Okay,
I did
yes.
towards the end.
Yes. Okay. Right.
And mostly because what happened, Cooley got taken over by Beam Suntory.
Right.
John and Willie MacArthur and
Yep.
David Hines were
Yep.
involved with Irish distillers
Yes.
and people from CNC and also I think Tullamore Dew
Yep.
in drafting that original technical
Yep.
file. And
Basically back then, everyone was happy with the definition of pot still whiskey.
Once John and David left,
Right.
I represented Beam
Yeah.
along with Eva Clark, who was.
I did not know that. All right, thank you very
Just
much.
towards
All
the
right.
end.
Yeah, just towards
We
the
were
end.
there
Very
with
good.
the inaugural meeting
Yes.
of the Irish Whisky Association, which came out of that as well.
Right.
Well, it was an interesting time, but it was more or less done at that stage.
Yeah, I'm sure. Now, last time we were at Whisky Live Dublin, we had 60 booths, I think. Now we have 110 plus.
And it's growing.
And it's growing and growing and growing. The question I've asked everyone so far in Ireland that has to deal with whiskey is, will the whiskey boom stop, or will the bubble burst in the next 10 years? What's your opinion? Why not?
Oh, I wish we all had a crystal ball.
I do. I mean,
who would have seen the growth that we've had in the last 10 years?
Yeah.
And it's just phenomenal that, or 20 years even, and 30
Yes,
years.
yes.
I mean, fair play to Pernod Ricard and Jameson and the rest of them
Yep.
that are forcing and pushing that brand out there. And the market, we have to remember we started from a small base back in about 1986, where we were doing around less than 1 million cases, maybe less than half a million, well, a bit more than that.
A bit more than that,
But,
yes.
And then now we're getting in there, and the market is growing. I
Yes.
mean, Bourbon is on fire.
Yes.
Scotch is doing very well. What's happening is other markets are opening up, the likes of Russia.
Yeah.
I know we've had problems there now in Ukraine and all the Eastern Bloc countries, but those markets are growing. People are beginning to get a little bit more interested in foreign imports, especially in the likes of China, the Far East, Taiwan booming.
Maybe India. Yes.
India is certainly an interesting. It's the biggest producer of whiskey in the world, still, and the biggest consumer.
Yeah.
So it's a very complex, and Africa now is doing well.
Yeah.
And places like Nigeria.
Yeah.
And we're seeing whiskies popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
I think that South America is still very much untapped for Irish whiskey, so there's plenty of opportunity here.
Very good. Maybe my last question for you, as you're consulting very many different new distilleries, peated Irish whiskey seems to be the thing at the moment. What's your opinion about peated Irish whiskey?
Well, I mean, when we did that with Cooley back in 1991, I think, it was kind of going against the grain.
Very much
for many years. Irish whiskey had to differentiate itself from Scotch, and one of the ways they did that was by the mantra that it had not been made with peat.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, and I mean, we've researched this, and you've seen the research that comes from way back in the 1800s. Peat was used widely in Ireland as a fuel and as in the malting and drying process of barley and beef.
Yes.
And so it was peated whiskies produced, especially in Donegal and places like that in the west.
I was just up with James and Sleeve Lee. Beautiful distilleries.
Beautiful whiskies. Yeah. And I think what we're lacking in Ireland at the moment is a malting capacity.
Yes, for peated.
Seated malt capacity. Now, I think that will come.
Yep.
And there are, once there's a demand, it will come. It's interesting, this year is going to be very difficult in the next 2 years because of what's happening in Europe. The grain prices are going up, everything is, there's a shortage of malt for next year.
And the energy prices as well.
Yeah, prices are going to go up, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But, it's the same for everybody, so it's kind of a level playing field as much as it can be.
Yeah.
And we'll see, but peat and pot still are the big things at the moment in Irish whiskey. I think there's a big learning to be done, or teaching of the consumers about pot still and about peat, Irish peat. But Irish peat, I think Connemara's still being one to compare against.
Yes.
And
especially the 12-year-old, I like the best.
It's got a lot of peat in there, but it's a sweet,
it's a sweet peat.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's the challenge for the peating. Some of the ones that are coming out now are based on original heavy peated malts, and it just remains to be seen how they do in the market. Yeah. Because that's the bottom line. Whoever sells the most wins.
Well, we know whose that's going to be for the next couple of years, don't we?
It continues to do well.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much for your time. I just guerrilla contact you. Thank you very much. Noel Sweeney, people, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
And drink plenty of Irish. And hopefully I made it. And even better if I sold it.
Excellent.